Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of The I World. I'm your host, Brittany, and this is my 6 years younger sister,
Talia.
And today we're bringing you a highly requested podcast episode about social media trends ins for 2025. We have been on quite the deep dive this year with our rebrand, and you may have been seeing that around the gram, social media in general.
Bitches love the gram.
And there's a lot happening right now on social media.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, today is the 18th. So tomorrow is the official TikTok ban.
But is it?
We're not sure.
Well, because didn't you say Trump extended it or something?
Well, he's not president yet, so we don't know.
Oh, shit. So when is he president?
On Monday. So
who's in charge of this right now?
Biden.
Wait, but I saw him post a whole thing about like oligarchies and like how our government is like an oligarchy right now.
I can't speak on oligarchies.
Did you see that though?
No, I don't even know.
But it's like he was talking about it as if he wasn't the one in control of it. He literally has like a mask on. Like he literally is like he's like a Botox king. Like his face doesn't move.
It's like
it's just his nose scrunches when he talks.
This episode will come out on Tuesday, so we will know by Tuesday if we still have TikTok or not.
So can I say something? The thing that I think scares me the most about TikTok being banned is that I literally use TikTok as a search engine for everything. Mm-hmm. So like something that somebody would Google or needs like any sort of information, I go to TikTok first. If I need a tutorial on how to set something up, like if I bought something, I don't know how to use it. If I'm looking for like a recipe for something, if I
planning a trip, like there's no other place that can show you like multiple high quality reviews of like a vacation spot.
And you know it's a real person giving you the review because like you could see their face and everything like that. And on Instagram, when you go to search something, you can't see anything. Like if you try to search up an audio on Instagram, like, you know, you never get it.
No, the algorithm on TikTok is far superior to Instagram. And what I have been seeing like all over TikTok and like people just like talking about this ban is how it's so ridiculous because the data that TikTok is collecting is nothing like the data that Meta has on us, and how this is not really about national security risks, but it's more about like businesses and like all of the
like stock.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. All of these senators have stock in these companies, and this is like literally insider trading. Like you are not supposed to be allowed to vote on things that you hold a financial interest in. So it's like literally ridiculous that these senators can be like, oh yeah, we're gonna shut down TikTok, and frame it as if it's like a national security issue, when in reality they were talking about how basically it's like somebody was saying how it's a propaganda tool, and actually it's like the only place where people really have a voice and can connect with people from all over the world in such a seamless way and like build this community that's not censored. Like everything on Meta, like Facebook, Instagram is censored. Like whenever people were talking about the pandemic and COVID and stuff like that, like it was all censored. And if you posted something that was like about COVID, there was always like a little censorship thing on it. So it's just so crazy. And like there are certain things like that on TikTok too, but not to the same extreme. And I just feel like
it's just like this could be dangerous, or it'll put that on it sometimes. But what I'm saying is like you can't use Instagram search bar like a search engine. You can use TikTok search bar like a search engine. So I need a fucking answer for anything, I can go to TikTok. If I go to Instagram, I'm not getting that answer.
I know.
Like it's so confused. It doesn't understand anything.
Yeah, the algorithm on Instagram is just not good.
Is that the algorithm?
Yes.
Because I'm like, why aren't you? If I type in like lyrics to a song, if I only know like a couple words, and I type that into TikTok, I'll get the song. If I type it into Google, I'll pretty much get the song. If I type it into Instagram, it's so fucking confused.
Yeah, they're stupid. It's the American people.
It's like
I downloaded Red Note, which is
so
like
that's in Mandarin.
It's literally in another language.
So why did you download it, and why are you loving it?
Because
she left in her comments that she downloaded Red Note and she's absolutely loving it.
I am loving it because first of all, the people on there are so excited that we're there. They're like, "Oh my god!" like it's so funny because so many of the comments that I'm getting are like, haha, I didn't understand the word she said. But it's like having TT. Like it's like having
Aw.
like someone who literally is like so sweet and
Yeah.
innocent, and they're like so excited. Like the content they're making, they're like, hello, American people, welcome to Red
Aw.
Note. I've been working on Red Note for 6 years. This is how you can go viral here. Like they're
Aw.
literally so sweet. But the thing I really like about Red Note is that it's literally first of all, I've seen so many people, like James Charles is on Red Note. Like people are going to Red Note and the
The
algorithm.
preview I saw of Red Note was like literally like
I have to show you after
okay.
this. But like it's literally right now it feels like it's just America and China on it. Like, but it's so cute. It's like a back and forth. And they're like kind of cool. I feel like the people like they're funny. Like they're just not what I expected.
Well, I heard they're like exposing us for like being stupid, basically, like our government. They were like, and like how it is a lot of propaganda because apparently like people think that like in China they don't have like supermarkets or something like they don't have like
We're made to believe that they can't even like access the
yeah.
internet the way that, and like everything is so censored there, but it really seems like that's
we're so
yeah, it
we're
seems
the
like
ones
we're the ones being told like
brainwashed.
China is this way, but that's like not actually how it is, because these people are just like literally like us. And I know that that sounds so dumb, but you are literally taught in school that like these people are not exposed to the outside world and they're not allowed to like see anything.
Well, they were like, oh, this really happens, like about they were like, we didn't think that until we're coming on the app, like we like saw that kids are wearing bulletproof backpacks. That really happens. Like we really thought that was just like not real, and like a bunch of stuff that's like being exposed for like I can't believe that's real.
Yeah.
And same thing for us to them. It's like really like opening up the
it is actually
conversation.
I think literally for the first time, like Chinese people and American people are having conversations and like building more fluid relationships. I'm seeing so many American people on Red Note saying like, I like never expected these people to be so friendly and welcoming and nice. And somebody even broke down like their guide of like their like on the app the rules, and they were like, it's when I translated it, it's so nice. It's like one of the things is like flaunting your wealth is like you just have to be aware that how that can come across, and like you don't want to be to make people feel bad because you're flaunting your wealth, like just like
Aww.
sweet little cute things like that. Like it's just so like
is there a TikTok shop, like a Red Note shop?
I haven't seen that yet, but
like
also,
how do creators make money on there? Just by like the creator fund?
I don't even know yet, but I will say that like the algorithm on there seems to be really smart, because when I was swiping, if I liked a certain kind of video or I liked a creator, I then started seeing more of the same thing very quickly, which is just what I feel like it's like on TikTok.
Yeah.
And the swiping and all of the way it's broken down seems almost identical to TikTok. Like you have an explore page, you have your friends.
It's in Mandarin.
Yes, but you can like not everything is like mine says like English words, but some of it is. And like the thing I can't figure out is how to put Mandarin subtitles on my stuff, because when I put subtitles on, it's in English, but it's not hearing it correctly. It's not translating it correctly. So you can type in and correct it in English, but like first of all, it's so much work, and second of all, like I don't know how to put it into Mandarin.
Putting Mandarin subtitles for them.
Yes, because so many people were commenting on my stuff and they were like, haha, I don't even know what she's talking about. Somebody was like, I took English in school, but like I could barely pick up what she said. Like they're just
Isn't
so
that weird
cute
to think of? That's like us like taking Spanish in school and then like going on like a completely like Spanish app and being like, oh, I grasped maybe 2 words.
And we're on their app. Like we're taking over their app, but like it seems a lot of them are just saying like, don't ruin this for us. Like be nice on here, because they are so nice. And
TikTok is so ruthless.
You know what is so well, it's funny because a lot of people say that TikTok is so nice and Instagram is ruthless. But like everyone who's saying they don't want to lose it is because like they found their people on there, which I haven't really had that experience yet on TikTok. Maybe I never will, maybe I will. But
I think people say like aggressively mean things on TikTok, and people don't do that on Instagram.
Yeah, I think on TikTok just the comments are funnier. Like they're just so funny.
Sometimes they're just out of pocket.
I don't think I'm on the same like page as you.
Like I'll just go in comment section sometimes and I'll be like, oh my god, you really said that.
No, the comments on TikTok are just so funny. Like I'm just gonna miss so much about TikTok if it goes away. However, the more I'm exposing, like the more I'm educating myself on what's going on, the more I feel like it's not going to.
Maybe this is just a publicity stunt
For Trump. But it's like,
someone.
I just think at least it's going to get extended, it seems, and to give them a chance to come up with some kind of a deal. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But with this whole, first of all, with or without TikTok going away, there are shifts that are happening on social media. So first trend that I have been seeing for maybe like a month or two now is the great migration back to YouTube.
This is not just a month.
It's been like that?
People have been saying this.
Really?
That's when I was saying, like, you were like, you still watch YouTube? And I was like, yes.
But now it's like a movement. Like now a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to be making...
I was on the movement before. It was a movement.
Okay. That was pick me.
No, I never left YouTube. I've always been loyal to YouTube.
Okay, well, for
creators.
For those of us who have never created on YouTube besides when we were 12 years old.
No, I'm not saying I'm creating on YouTube. I'm saying I've always loved consuming YouTube. I've always loved consuming long form content. I think that's what it is.
Okay. So yeah, so YouTube. I'm doing a little YouTube. I did 2 YouTube shorts, which is basically just like repurposing what I'm putting on my Instagram Reels and my TikToks and now Red Note onto YouTube Shorts. And on Instagram, being a comfort creator. And I think we really need to talk to the podcast listeners today, like as if it's a blank slate of 2025 with how they need to approach being a creator on, let's just focus on Instagram right now, because we don't know what's happening with the other platforms. And Instagram does seem to be where a lot of the creators are going to be shifting. And I personally I do really like the perfectly curated content. I know that on TikTok, it's a little bit more like just do whatever you want and like just be yourself and it's more your personality. And I love that. But I think if you want to grow on Instagram and if you're doing this to be a creator, build a business, whatever it is, if you want to make money using your social media, comfort creators are in 2025.
Comfort creators are in, but the content could still look polished. Like it doesn't have that same like lazy daisy as TikTok, so the content still needs to look polished. But what is a comfort creator, right?
So your comfort creator is your person that you like to go to their page because it's just like, ooh, let's see what they're up to today. Like Alex Earl could be your comfort creator. You just like want to see what she's been wearing this week, what she's been doing this week. Like you just love her content and consuming it.
It's your feel good person.
Yeah, your feel good person, the person who just like you connect with their personality and like no matter what they're doing, you want to follow along.
Okay, let's list some of our comfort creators.
Okay, you go first.
My number 1 slot. Number 1, and I don't see anyone tearing her down.
Natalie
Zasek. I love her so much. I like don't even want to meet her because she's just like such like a number 1 slot, and like she makes me so happy that like I don't know, like it's like don't meet your hero vibes. Like I can't even like meet her. She just has to stay there because she's so perfect in my brain. Which like, oh, that's kind of a lot of pressure I'm putting on her. But like I love her so much. I don't know, something about her videos every single time makes me feel so good. It makes me feel just like, oh, I want to do fun stuff too. Okay, then my other comfort creator in a different way is Sydney Adams, because I've talked about her a handful of times. It's kind of like in a motivational way, but also she films like pretty much everything she's doing, even though she doesn't have like a crazy, crazy eventful day-to-day life. So like she records mainly day in my life, week in my life style content, but like even if she's just home. So I really do like that because it's like takes away from this idea that you always have to be like doing stuff, I guess. So I really, really like her. And then Natalie Zasek's whole squad. So Greta Wilson, they're all great. But like Natalie's number 1. Those are my YouTube comfort creators. I don't know who I would say is like my Instagram comfort creator.
Well, I think Instagram is only now like shifting into this because Instagram, we talked about this on the last episode, but like for so many people, it's just like the me show in the selfish way. It's like, oh, look at what I wore on vacation, not like, like outfit ideas for your next vacation. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about with like how to step into this and frame this for yourself and how to be a creator that is like followable and like bingeable. But something I want to just like point out about your comfort creator, and maybe this will help you like think of people, is like watching people who when you like watch them, it's like you're on FaceTime with them. Like you could just like sit there and like listen to anything they're talking about and you're just interested in them. And like almost like you want to kind of step into like that feeling you get of like their life just warm. So actually one of my favorite comfort creators is somebody that I know, AJ from Monate, who I work with, and I just love everything about her life. She'll post about like making sourdough, she'll post like just stuff with her kids, her family. She'll post like outfit things that she's getting, skincare, makeup, stuff that she's using, just like anything, yoga. Like I just love, and most of all, what I just like about her content is just how she makes me feel when I'm watching it. So I just feel like very warm and positive and like off to a good start, but also so human that like sometimes she talks about like her anxiety and how she micro doses and stuff. Like she just shares so much about her life and really gives you a look into it that
she's very authentic, it sounds
like. And it just like inspires me because she's just so consistent with her posting, and you really feel like you kind of always know what she's up to because she's always posting and just gives you that like kind of window into her life. So that's like a huge one for me. I also love in a different way Alex Earl, which Alex Earl did like post that she was like, you guys need to go follow me on Instagram if you want to see me ever get engaged, which was like kind of funny.
Aww.
She posted on TikTok, but she is like my TikTok comfort creator that like if I'm like I have nobody to watch like right now or nothing's interesting me, I'll go see what she's doing because I love her personality.
It's someone, and I think that something I'm realizing as I post more videos that aren't just aesthetic and post more of me talking is that people like don't really know my personality.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm getting good feedback from people saying like that they really love my content. So I think in order to become someone's comfort creator, you have to kind of start making content that you are talking to the camera, not just like days of my life with music overlaying and stuff like that. Not just the aesthetic content creator, because I think we all have that like aesthetic person that we just follow because we love their vibe. But if you want to like really be someone's it girl, you have to like they have to know you.
It's actually giving me clarity for like my own content as we're talking about it, because I feel like I'm doing a lot of like series type of stuff and then a lot of the overlay type of stuff, but on my actual feed I'm not doing anything talking about my life anymore, but I used to. So that's something that as we're talking, I'm like, okay, you know what, I should really do like as I'm getting ready, talking about what's going on in my life so like people can so people can follow along with it. Because something that has been very like in right now with like rebranding yourself is having a signature series. So first of all, I just want to step one is, well, step one is not that actually. No. Step one is defining your brand pillars. Now, in the age of TikTok and like social media the last few years, it's been like a big discussion, and we've talked about it on past episodes of the podcast, like niching down, not niching down. So this is what's in for 2025. You're not niching down in 2025. This is more about, like we said, being the comfort creator. And that means that people want to follow you because they like you and they want to follow along everything you're doing. Now, you do want to have your 4 brand pillars, and pretty much everything that, at least the advice and stuff that I'm going to share today, I don't know about Talia, is stuff that I learned from Julia Broom, which Talia actually got me her social media planner from Instagram and was like sending me a bunch of her videos last month, just saying like, you need to do this, you need to follow this, because Talia is always the person I go to for help with like my social media.
I think Julia is a good person to go to if like you are feeling lost, and she kind of gives you that like what's happening right now. It's like very current. Yeah. And she gives you like good guidelines to follow, which is what Brittany's going to get into with the pillars.
And even just like with how she does her social media, like we can talk about this kind of like after the fact, but like she is a perfect example of what to do as well, like as a creator.
Because she takes her own advice for sure.
Yes. First of all, you want to figure out what your 4 brand pillars are. So like if you want to be the creator this year, what are 4 things that you either like to talk about or like to watch, something that you've always wanted to create? And she suggests actually writing 8 of those things down, and then from the 8 narrowing them down to 4. So for example, your like pillars could be like for Talia, jujitsu, cooking, like maybe like training outfits and gear,
like technique type videos,
day in the life, skincare, like these are all things that Talia is interested in. So from making this list, she would narrow it down to 4 brand pillars that are like the things that she's going to consistently post about. So for yourself, there's so many categories. It could be being a mom, it could be being an athlete, it could be just working out. cooking videos, mindset, journaling, like there's so many different examples, but should I pull my
Yes,
thing?
I'm going to write something down too so I don't forget.
I'm going to actually grab my planner so I can read you guys what mine are. And this has just been really helpful for keeping me on track, because I'm also somebody that like sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm going to try so many things and then like see what works. And I think it's just good to have a plan and just to know that like this is the plan, the 4 brand pillars. So I don't have to go off track and keep trying different things.
I never even saw your thing.
So my 4 content pillars for myself and for anybody who is like kind of in the same industry as me, I'm really creating more like beauty, lifestyle kind of content. That's the kind of content I really like to watch, and it also aligns with my business. Now it's important that and something Julia Broom will talk about a lot, is that you don't want to just be selling to your audience all the time. So even if that's something that's worked for you in the past, it's not going to work for you anymore. Okay, so my 4 content pillars for my page. One is my network marketing business, my Money business, which you guys probably see me post about every now and again, but talking more like not just product side, but also the business side and like how it's a part of my career.
Is the journal worth the hype?
Yes, but I will say that it's like the one thing I'm still trying to figure out with it is that she structures you to like map out your whole month of content, and that's like a little bit hard for me. Yeah. But it is something that would be beneficial for me to do, so it's something I do want to change about myself. But if you're like me and you struggle with this, try to go week by week at least. I would say it is good to have some kind of a plan, like so you just can stay on track and give yourself like a work schedule if you're going to take social media seriously as a career. So yeah, I think having at least some kind of journal, and I do like hers, and I think her new one, because she has like this new workhorse one that came out, has even more like prompts and ideas for like stuff that you can like post about if you don't know. But she also posts so much on her personal, like on her business page as well, and she's also coming out with a digital version of her workbook. Okay, so my second content pillar is like vlog, day in the life, lifestyle type of stuff. My third one is beauty, and my fourth one is home and fashion finds. So from those things, you can kind of pull like, okay, these are things I like to talk about. For example, I like to post about whatever I get from Amazon. So like, for example, love these cups. I post about them every now and again, link them on my Amazon storefront. So it's something that I can share with my audience. So she'll actually structure and give ideas for like your stories, your like actual feed. So she has tons of ideas. So definitely go check her out. And if you're a serious content creator who really wants to take it up this year, like I would suggest sitting down for like 30 or 45 minutes and literally going through, taking notes, screenshotting, and come up with a plan. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The second part, so part 2 of this, is creating your signature series. So you obviously want to pull your signature series from one, or, you know, if you're going to have more than one signature series, from your brand pillars. So for example, for me, I started off the year with my signature series being how to like glow up in 2025. And it had it be like a 5-part series, and it was always about the viewer. Okay. So this is the biggest mistake that I am seeing from content creators that I've followed for like 5 or 6 years, is that they're still making this kind of more selfish content that's like me, I'm good at this, I'm good at this. Okay, your audience does not care what you're good at. They want to know what you're going to help them with. So
how can they benefit from consuming your content, really?
And you really have to reframe the way you talk about these things, because if you're not, think about how short of an attention span people have. The moment they hear okay, swipe, they don't care. So the signature series is, I think, a great tool for somebody who wants to stay organized and wants to, like, if you're somebody that you kind of struggle with what kind of content to put out, if you commit to like, I'm gonna have a 5-part series talking about XYZ, for example, skincare finds for that I, was obsessed with in 2024, that I'm bringing into 2025 with me. Like if that's going to be your series, or instead of like skincare I don't know if I said products, but like
you said finds.
Finds. So instead of it being finds, like being like skincare tips I learned in 2024, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and telling people and yourself, this is going to be a 5-part series. That way you can't bail on yourself, and you have to stay committed to creating the content.
I think a great place to start with these pillars is like, okay, you jotted them out, you know what they're going to be. And then while you're on Instagram, my favorite creator tip ever is to have saved albums that are specifically for that type of content. So whenever I see a video, it does not have to be that somebody's video I'm exactly copying. It could be I'm making a jujitsu video, but the audio and the concept behind it I like and I can use. So let's say it's like a hairstylist and she's making a video about something like that. It has nothing to do with my type of content, but I know that I want to pull from this, whether it's the audio, whether it's the lighting, the writing, whatever it is about the video, something about it I know that I can use for my kind of content. So I'm going to save it to that album. And I have it, it's like gym content, right? So I have one album that's like that. And then you can have another album that's like, let's say you were going to do like beauty, skincare type stuff. So anytime that I come across a video that I can find some sort of inspiration from it, whether it's the editing style, whether it's, I actually have a separate album that I save stuff to that's strictly for the editing style or marketing details or fonts. So really breaking it down into not being so broad, because when you look at your saved album as just like one big thing, it's like I don't even know why I saved stuff. Like I'm never gonna find it in here. This is just like a deep dark hole. So being super specific with my albums has helped a lot. And then when I'm at the gym, I open up the album, I look through, and I'm like, okay, I know I had this, and this saved. You can be way more efficient with your time, and you also, because you're gonna be on the app consuming, you're also using that time to organically save stuff. So it's not like you're forcing yourself to sit down and come up with ideas. Because I think once you do that, it's like you're forcing it. You're forcing it. You aren't actually in love with the idea, but you're like, oh, I need to make something. So let me just do this. So I think once you're just consuming and naturally you have the albums you're saving to, then when it's film day or whatever, you can go in and you have a plan, you have something you're going to film. You're way more efficient with your time. The content's going to come out better. So that's like my number one tip for that. Like I have one right now that's for carousel ideas because carousels are very in and hot. I have one that's like for outfit inspo. I have one for editing inspo. I have one for, all different kinds of inspiration that I want to pull from. That way it's just way more niched down. So that would be my second tip that kind of stems off of the first tip on just how to take those first steps to finding inspiration for your own page in your pillars.
Yeah, so I think basically just to kind of recap where we've started to where we are now, if you want to be a serious creator who's going to grow in 2025, you want to create your content pillars, 4 categories of things that you like to produce or have always been interested, even if you've never done it before. And then from there, getting organized with your ideas. So whether it be in planner form, whether you're saving ideas to folders, getting organized with the kind of stuff that you want to recreate. 3, creating your signature series, the thing that's going to help keep you accountable, even if you don't create a title for it, but it's just for yourself. That way you can kind of plan out in your week, like every Monday, I'm going to post an educational tip about this thing that I like. If you're a personal trainer and you're like, tip Tuesday or tip Thursday. If you're a lifestyle creator, maybe you want to do a Saturday reset or a Sunday reset. There's so many different ideas out there that we can even like give you more ideas on this stuff. If you guys like this episode and you need more help with this, we can even like head just to our stories and talk with you guys. But you just kind of want to figure out, like, in my category, what are the things that I like to watch, that I like to save, that have helped me, and then start to create content from it. And then that would bring us to the next tip, which is just to be consistent. The worst thing that you can do in anything you're doing, whether it be starting a business, starting a new workout or eating routine, anything you're doing, and also goes with growing on social media, is starting and stopping. The analogy that I always use for this is, think of an airplane. If you are on an airplane and the airplane is going and then it stops, and then it's going and then it stops, it's never going to get into the air, okay? The way that an airplane ends up taking flight is by kind of like gearing up and running on the runway for like a while.
Inspirational quotes.
No, but seriously, it's a metaphor that like I learned 6 years ago that I always think about, because in the beginning, like obviously the goal of an airplane is to fly, but if you stop,
ready for takeoff,
but it's the same
content creation 2025
with social media. If you want to grow on your platform, you have to consistently be running on that runway until you take off. So that is the only way that you're ever going to get up in the air, is if you are going to consistently do it every single day, really. I saw something actually from somebody on TikTok talking about how she was growing her Instagram platform and how she used to do advertising and marketing for businesses. So she was curious if the way the algorithm worked with running ads for businesses was the same as it is for creators who are just trying to grow their own platforms. So she said that she knows that when like she was working for a company, let's say she was working for Lululemon. Lululemon is going to put out an ad for 30 days. And they're going to run the same ad every single day for 30 days. And in that 30 days, Meta is learning what kind of audience Lululemon is going for based on who's liking the stuff, commenting on it, sharing it, saving it. And that's how they're learning who their audience is. So in that first 30 days, they're going to get like some kind of results, but maybe not their optimal results. And that's them running that same ad for the same amount of money every single day for 30 days. So what they do then on month 2 is they run that exact same ad for another 30 days, but now Meta already has all of this information, data, and algorithm for the kind of people that like that ad. So when they're putting it out for the second run, it's going to do so much better because they already know who to gear it towards, who likes content like that. They're not just learning who Lululemon is, they're learning like, okay, this is who Lululemon is. These are the people who like stuff like this. Let's put this ad in front of those people. But they
How
had
does it even do that if you think about it?
Based on like the data that they collect.
That's so interesting to think about. Like if I like something like that comes back to me, and then I'm like in this cloud that they like know to send
categorize. Yeah, it's really interesting.
It's crazy.
So this creator basically said like I went from just having like a regular platform like 300 or 400 followers and then over like 6 figures in followers within like a 6-month period of time because she just started doing the exact same thing that these ads did, which is posting her content within her brand pillars every single day consistently for months. And as time goes on, she said Instagram or Meta, Facebook is just learning the kind of content you put out, the kind of people who like this content, and is learning who to put your content in front of. So in order to get your content in front of these people, you have to be posting high quality content consistently and not just hopping on the trends, but also having value.
I think having a good blend of both is very important. I think that the trends, whether it be like a specific audio or whether it be a specific phrase or whatever it is, it's a good way to get people to your page. So because that's trending, right? It's going to be on people's explore pages or for you pages and stuff like that. But if the person comes to your page, why are they sticking around, right? That's where you really have to build yourself as like a personality or an aesthetic or whatever it is to keep the person around. And a little side note of a tip to think in the back of your head is, am I making savable, shareable content? If you are, then I think Instagram or TikTok picks up that your content is getting good engagement and then wants to push it more. So think about, if you're making like a tip video, you want to give out, sometimes you got to give to get back, right? So you want to give out this valuable information so that people save it. So then it's boosting that engagement for you. So that's something that I always have to kind of remind myself is like, am I making savable, shareable content, or do I just like this video? And it's fine to do both, just to sprinkle that in throughout.
And the more that you give away for free, the more that you're going to have a loyal following base. And I'll bring it back to the Julia Broom creator because she is somebody who I've been following her for less than a month. She shares so many specific, valuable things consistently, and for free. And she has like her business is tied to this, but because she's giving away so much, she's gained like there are very few people that I consistently check their page. I've now subscribed to her. I've never subscribed to anybody on Instagram, like to their subscription thing. $10 a month I'm paying because I'm like, she's valuable. I want more of this.
Yeah.
She has her workbook, which like for sure, I think it's sold out. She has 2 different online courses. I literally almost did. And I'm like, I don't need to do this. I like know a lot of this stuff. But
I think Kaylee Stewart is coming out with one.
I saw.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know the details of it, but
I like the way it looks.
I think like the whole concept of being like a creator, that like creating a product that you really love within your niche is good if you're not constantly, and Julia Broom talks about this, like not constantly shoving it down people's throats and trying to sell something all the time. And instead, the more you're like giving away free tips, the more people are going to like value you and trust you and just feel like you have like a good heart, so they're going to like to follow you.
She just posted it. I'm like curious to see what her, obviously she covered parts of it, but it looks kind of like a gratitude journal, not so much a
like a planning.
Yeah, okay. So it's less of a content creation planning. It's more of like a regular guided journal. So it has a morning and night checklist, a reminder of the day that's already in there, which is like the quote of the day on like the gratitude journal, highlights of the day, things you're grateful for, tasks for the day, and a schedule. Okay. I think the only hype with this was the outside of it, which was really pretty. I don't think I would like
maybe if you don't have a journal already and you're looking for one, but we do have like our gratitude journal.
We have our gratitude journals, and my boyfriend actually got a different brand that's like less, he was saying feminine. I think it's called the Mindset Journal, but it's just like a guided journal. I think another thing to talk about is we did sprinkle in a little bit about YouTube in the beginning, but Brittany actually shared a video with me that was like some girl talking about how much money she made with Instagram, which I think my monetization is like fucking broken because I can get so many fucking views, likes, saves, and I don't get anything, not even a penny.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I don't understand.
I don't understand either.
Because at one point I was, and then it just like it stopped. So it's like, you guys will fucking suck.
They do.
And they don't want people to make money from their app, but then like why are people going to use it?
Yeah.
Like I think TikTok was way more generous in that sense. But anyways, this girl was basically saying like she made $5 from Instagram and she made like $22,000 from YouTube in like the same amount of time, just from the ads that YouTube runs before, during, and after the video. Which is like, that's crazy. You don't even have to do anything. It's not a brand deal. It's not anything like that. That's just from the ads that are being run during your video. So I am going to be hopping on the YouTube train. I think tomorrow is going to be my first vlog.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Because I think Sunday's a good day for me because I get up early. I have a productive day. I just found another actually YouTube girl I like that I was watching. Her name is Sydney Schiffer. I think she's on TikTok too. Pretty well-known influencer. And she did, so this could be like an idea for you guys. Is waking up at 5 a.m. worth it? And she woke up at 5 a.m. like for a week. So it's like, that's like a kind of like it's kind of gives signature series energy that makes people want to stick around for the whole video.
Well, also what that does is it's a selfless series. So that's the thing that I started to talk about a little bit that I feel like people are still not really like tapping into here. So instead of,
I think it's hard for me. Like I have to really think about like, is this selfish? Like I like sometimes I don't think I know as easily like how the wording, that I still need to learn.
Instead of saying, I'm going to wake up every day at 5 a.m. and record it for you guys and see how it does. What?
She just started YouTube.
I think a lot of people are moving over to YouTube.
She just started, but she has 11.2K subscribers from her other platforms. Yeah. But I really like her titles, and I think that's going to probably become the new thing. Like, people are going to have to, like, care more about their titles.
Yeah.
I think current YouTubers don't that much. But I really like, because it's almost like a hook, and it's almost like clickbait a little bit.
Like what?
Like a homebody leaving her home. Like, that's just her, like, going on and then she has in parentheses, solo brand trip, lip tattoo, trip with a boy, exclamation point. But like a homebody leaving her home is a great way to say that. I would never think. I would be like solo trip, like, or like that was very unique. And then waking up at 5 a.m. every day for a week. And then how to clean when the mess is overwhelming.
Okay, so those two. So waking up every day at 5 a.m. for a week, and the other one,
how to clean when the mess is overwhelming.
So this is basically like great examples of selfless content, because it's like helping you do something. Like, I'm going to wake up every day at 5 a.m. for a week so you can know if it's worth it or not. Like, I'm going to do it to tell you if you should do it or not, kind of vibe.
Yeah, I think that's how you have to get people on board. I think once they're there, you could be as selfish as you want to be. Like Natalie Zasa could literally post like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'd be like, yes, Natalie, I want to do it too. So
Natalie,
like she has 7 a.m. productive morning routine, healthy and realistic habits for the new year.
But these are all educational things.
Yes.
Like the way they're framed is like things that for you to learn how to do.
Hosting Friendsgiving, a cozy vlog. It's also like tapping into words that like make you feel good, like cozy.
Well, that goes back to the comfort creator.
Yeah. Weekend in my life in Florida, hosting friends, productive night routine, embrace the time change in shorter days, spend a productive day with me. And then they always have like a little bit of like in the title, what you're going to see in the video. So, you know, office clean out, coffee chat. That's something I've noticed about YouTube is like, sometimes that is just the title. Like Sydney Adams is always just like tells you basically what's going to happen in the vlog before she does anything. Like weekend vlog, pasta night, solid core workout, Sunday reset, and a grocery haul. Like
also something I've seen people do, and I did it in one of my recent vlogs, was like taking little clips from the day and creating almost like a little preview of what the video is going to be. So
that's like what everyone's doing. All the best of the best.
Well, I'm in there
She's
now.
In the best of the best. Yeah, no, I love that in the beginning because it gives me, I actually saw somebody who does it on Instagram, which is why I did that on this video that I made.
You really have to constantly be evolving and caring about what you're doing if you want to be a creator on this app and be somebody who's growing, bingeable, savable, all of that, and for you to be able to enjoy it. Because it's one thing to be doing this and running a business, and it's another thing to actually want this to be your career where like you are an influencer, you are a creator. Those are two different things. Making money using your social media and being the creator that just effortlessly generates income are two different avenues, and we're really kind of talking more towards those people right now, and how you can kind of effortlessly loop this into your life. Also, just like simple tips for you. Apps to download, CapCut. Hopefully we still have it.
Oh, don't even.
But CapCut is where we edit all of our content.
And if you can't, you can download Vita in case CapCut goes away. Supposedly, it's supposed to be like very similar to CapCut in like the whole entire layout. I guess it's the red note of TikTok. Like I think it's supposed to be very similar. And then also people are saying VN. I downloaded it, but I have not.
I heard that one too.
I don't know anything about it yet. So
yeah, so CapCut for editing.
It kind of is giving a Canva crossover because it has a lot of like templates.
Next app, Canva. Yeah. Canva is like a great place just for, I feel like we use it so much, but like I can't even.
It's just also so easy to navigate.
It wasn't in the beginning though, for me at least. Like it took me a while to understand it. But yeah, I really struggled with Canva for a while, but we do use the pro versions of these apps. And if you are a creator and you're using this as a career, first of all, like it's a tax write-off. So even if you're investing in stuff for your social media, if you're making any money through your apps and you're like a 1099 employee, you can use all of this stuff for like getting money back on your taxes. So I think it's worth investing in.
CapCut Pro is worth the hype.
CapCut Pro can stabilize your videos. You can use all of the fonts. Yeah. You can use more music. You can just edit better.
Way.
And we used to like screen record stuff.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're so cheap for what? For no reason.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's way more seamless. Like I would like be screen recording, get a notification, and have to start all the way over. Yeah. Also, another idea, just random, is having something that you're consistently posting about on your stories that like is a part of like your personality. Like maybe it's like making your morning coffee and like that's your thing that you're constantly posting about. People will just start to know you for that thing. So it could be like, I saw somebody give an example with like matcha, but like, let's say it was like for coffee and it was like every day or, you know, a couple times a week, I'm posting my coffee on my story, making my coffee. And it could be like the Coffee Chronicles. And it's like why coffee is superior than energy drinks. And it could be like, because it matches my outfit. And like, let's say I have like a all brown outfit. Or why coffee is, I think this girl did this with matcha about like when it's spilled, like it looks pretty even when it's spilled. And it could be like she spilled her coffee all over the floor or her matcha, whatever. So having like something that I've just noticed that I do that with my coffee. And then like randomly, I love when other people do that. Like something about a little morning coffee just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And then when I see other people like posting their little warm, cozy little drinks, I'm like, oh, I love this. So having something like that you're just like, you're consistently posting about to have people like
I think on your stories you can be a little bit more selfish too and take people along like what you're going to do in a day, because those, like especially when we're talking about Instagram, like those are your followers. Those are the people who like to follow you already because they like you. I saw somebody say like I have no problem talking on my Instagram stories. I just get nervous when I'm doing stuff for like my reels. And I was telling them that the thing is that your Instagram stories are only going to reach the people who already follow you. If you're trying to reach more people, you need to be posting on your feed, because that hopefully will get you to the explore page and in front of more people who will want to follow you. But if you're not consistently posting on your feed like you are on your stories, you're never going to get the growth because you're not getting new people to see your stories.
And I think you also need to know and be okay with the fact that like if you're starting this journey, there's going to be people that leave, and but that has to happen for the new people to come in, because the people who are going to care about what you're posting, unfortunately, most likely is not the people that already follow you. If you're starting with like a account that's just like how you would post like in middle school and high school, and it's just like when you'd go on vacation, like we said, or like if you'd like do anything relevant, and then there would be like months and months in between, right? So taking your account from that to like a business in a sense, and like you're going to be posting a lot more often, so people might get annoyed and people might be like, oh, this girl's spamming my page and unfollow you. That's okay. They're not your target audience, right? So you're gonna lose some people along the way, but you'll reach like that wasn't your audience anyways that you were looking to reach. So you will reach a whole new flood of people, and once your Instagram or whatever hits that side, it'll all be worth it. So don't overthink that.
Polly and I have both had so many opportunities come just from being authentically ourselves on social media.
None of like the opportunities I've had if I didn't post.
Yeah. So I think that like you just have to show up and feel a little silly in the beginning. Don't worry about being like cringy or awkward, because everyone is when you first start out. You're kind of like finding your voice on your platform when you're first going. But I also did see something that Julia Broom said, which is like if you feel like you have a dead account, do not make a new one from scratch, because her account I didn't know was dead, and she has only been doing her social media seriously for less than a year. Yeah. She said my account had like 3,000 followers, and now it has like 68,000 followers. And she started in February of last year.
You're fucking kidding.
No.
Wow. Julia Broom. This is basically just a love note to you.
I have been implementing pretty much everything I've learned from her. And one of the things that she said on my stories is to post more engaging content. So question boxes, polls, things that your audience can engage with. And I actually noticed that my content at first when I was posting it was doing kind of like It was like less than 100 likes, which is like not typical. I think I talked about this last week on the podcast. But then my engagement got better and I was getting more interactive stuff. I was getting great feedback from people saying they love my stuff because it's more valuable now. I've been doing more polls, question boxes. So ideas for you that you can do is, let's say to yourself, if you want to map this out just to stay organized. Mondays, you're going to do like spend the morning with me, Monday morning reset, and show them what you're doing in the morning. So I did this the other day. I showcased like doing my skincare, and you can just do pictures, just a picture of your skincare desk, you're making your drink, your journal, like just a picture of what you're doing is fine. It doesn't always have to be a perfectly curated video, even if that's what you're seeing other creators doing. And then just kind of like take them along the journey. And then I did a little poll at the end that was like, do you have a morning routine? And I was like, yes, I stick to it every day. No, but I really want to have one. Or I think it was like no interest. And then the last one was like, yes, but I don't always follow it. And just something that like people can start to engage with you on. And then what happens is it kind of just like, first of all, the more engagement that you get, the more your overall like everything goes up on your page. And then like, for example, having one day of the week, let's say Tuesday is going to be your day that you like share links. So you don't want to like spam your viewers every single day with links and things for people to buy. So let's say on Tuesday, you're going to be like, Amazon finds I'm loving this week. Here are the links. And then showcasing the things you got that week with your links. Then on Wednesday, it could be more of like, I don't know. What are other ideas?
For stories?
Yeah.
I was doing like this or that for the bridal club. I was thinking like, how can I post on the story more? Because it's like, unless I'm posting a curated reel to the story, I felt like I wasn't engaging a lot on the stories, but I didn't necessarily want to be like coming on with my face and talking just like super authentically, just because I do want the page to be a little more polished, because it is our like business. I do want us to do more like just like popping on, but it needs to be like intentional. Like there has to be like a concept that we're talking about for that page. Whereas like I think I could just go on my page and kind of talk nonsense and like I wouldn't think twice. So an idea that I was doing was I was going on Pinterest and just screenshotting like things that are like trends for weddings. So flowers as a centerpiece or candles. So I screenshotted both and then did like a split screen, zoomed in, and I said like this 2025 brides, kind of like a this or that. So I said like candles that are as the centerpiece or flowers, and then I did a poll so people could engage. And I feel like we got a lot of people engaging in the polls. And then I did like, is this overdone? So I'm sure you could use that for your personal page too. So I was just like bows, like 2025 brides, bows. And I did like, love it, it's overdone, or like has to be done the right way. So just like little things like that to think about. We can also give you a list. I put together some hooks. So if you want to take out your little notepad right now and jot these down, here are some general hooks that you guys can use for your account, really any account. They're fill in the blank sort of. So 3 mistakes to avoid when blank. If I could give you, this hook did really well for one of our bridal club videos that literally went viral. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be, and then the piece of advice, the easiest way to blank. I wish I found this sooner. Most people don't realize the biggest mistake people make when this one trick will instantly improve your blank. If you're struggling with blank, this is for you. 5 things you need to know about blank. You're going to want to save this for later, and then go ahead and say whatever you're going to say. Here's what happens when you blank. Avoid this common mistake if you want blank, and then wait till you see blank. So for instance, like here's what happens when you wake up at 5 a.m. every day for a week.
Good. See, I would watch that.
If you're struggling, let's make all of these for getting up early. If you're struggling with hitting snooze, this video is for you. 3 mistakes to avoid when trying to curate a productive morning routine. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be waking up early in the morning. The easiest way to get out of bed in the morning.
I need to watch this.
What?
The series, whatever it is, I need it.
Most people don't realize hitting snooze is when you lose. The biggest mistake people make when trying to get up early.
Those are really good.
Yeah, so those are just some like general ideas. And I think hooks are like, you gotta do them. And if you guys want more specific examples like this, whether it's for your niche or anything like that, we have a little Big Sis chat. You can enter in whatever your brand is gonna be, and we can come up with some ideas for you using these hooks. And then if you also get on that side of like Instagram, you'll start getting like these ideas for you on your Explore page. So like I see them all the time now, and I save that to my album that's like editing and marketing.
And the last tip that I need to give you guys is that when you're watching something, first of all, I think everybody just needs to find someone who's going to be honest with them. Tali is that person for me. If you have a video, you have to cut out all of the dead fucking space. You have to cut out.
Yeah. Like if you're getting bored, right? You got to cut it.
The the likes, the hi guys, none of that. We're never starting a video with hi guys. We're never trying to be a saleswoman in our videos. Like we're cutting out all of that, and we're using the hooks. We're creating the brand pillars. We're sticking to a consistent schedule with posting, and most of all, we're believing in ourselves.
We're having fun. We're having fun, because if you don't have fun with it and you just put so much pressure on yourself, you're going to burn out with it. You really need to have the joy in creating and use it as like a creative outlet for yourself. And jumping onto what Brittany was saying about the like cutting out the introduction, if you need to do it out of habit, that's fine. Just cut it out. So no one wants to be like, hey guys, Tali here. I already swiped. I'm bored. So cut that out. Use a hook to start. Let's give you a refresh on everything we covered if you listened to this long, right? So we're getting our pillars, our categories. We are saving content to specific albums that are super specific you want to recreate so that we could be efficient with our time and we're not doom scrolling and then we don't end up filming anything throughout the day.
Creating your signature series or your kind of content you're going to consistently post so your audience knows what they're following along for. Think of it almost as like your reality show.
Also, I know that we're doing a recap, but to tag onto that, like sometimes like I'll follow somebody just because like they're building or building out their basement, and like I want to see what it like comes out to in the end, you know? So like keeping people along for that. Like that's like the perfect example of like the original Signature series.
Yes. And also something I also saw about that, the being super vulnerable and like showing something when it's not done to building it to eventually hopefully become something. Something I saw that made me think about this was like the journey to even something in your career. Like Talia, if you were to do like, today is day one of my grind going for my purple belt. And like you're not there yet, it's a little vulnerable. It could feel a little bit like, what if I never get it? But if you do that, people are going to be so curious. Same thing with me for like my Mon 8 business. Like if I did like day one of my grind to hitting the next rank in my business, like this is what I need. This is where I'm at now. Being open with where I'm at in my journey. What that's going to do by being vulnerable is you're going to find other people who, first of all, people who are starting literally at zero, who are like, wow, you already got to that point. Finding people who are where you're at that are like, okay, I'm on that journey too. And then finding people who are above you, who are maybe a mentor in their field, who are going to share your content with people who are going to be on the same journey as you. But you have to be willing and open to being like, you know what? I'm not a director in my business. I'm not a purple belt, but I
don't want to be a purple belt, just so you guys know.
Okay, well, I'm just using that as an example. Maybe there is someone out there who does want to advance to the next belt or whatever it is. And when you are a purple belt one day and you watch this back, you're going to go, why did I say that?
No, I want it eventually, just not right now.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, for example, like with whatever it is for you, like maybe you're starting a landscaping business. Day one of building the biggest landscaping business on Long Island. Let's do it. Right now, I'm working out of my basement. I've got one client and I've got one lawnmower. Let's see what I can do in 30 days. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, you have to just not...
And people love to support small, you know?
Yeah. We have pillars. We have Signature series. We have saving and planning your content. We have...
I want to add one. Can I add one?
Yes.
If you have like multiple things that you're going to be filming for, planning the day that you're going to film each thing. Mm-hmm. It's something I'm trying to implement, so that's all I got for you on it.
And an editing day as well, and not having them be too far apart. I actually gave this tip on my story or on my TikTok that if you're somebody like me, batching content on a content day for me is not always so effective, because then I'll just have all this content that I'm just too overwhelmed to edit it. So if you're filming, sometimes it's better to film, edit, post, and then film, edit, and then that can even be better for planning your content for the week. I did see a tip that said you should not be scheduling posting from Julia Broom. She said don't schedule your post to automatically go out because it never performs as well. So you do want to be actively posting, because you don't want to post and ghost. You want to post and then engage. She also suggests going through your old comments, your old stuff, and always be commenting and responding, because that engagement is really important.
Yeah, that's why it brings people back to your account. So I think that does something with the algorithm.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of like business pages don't perform well, because you're just posting your business but you're not engaging with your audience. Posting on your stories was another tip that we talked about, and posting engaging content with your stories. And then was there anything else?
Is there anything else?
I think that was it.
Okay, Miss Piggy. Who knows? We're two yappers, so...
Well, we're excited to see your Signature series and your glow up on social media this year. So make sure you're tagging us in anything that you're creating if this was helpful for you.
And I have a feeling there's going to be a part 2 to this, because, you know, we just have so much valuable information to share with you guys. Like, I felt like we could have even kept going. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. Be sure to head to our Big Sis chat with any questions, or if you guys want any tips for how to grow your page.
Just anything going on in your life. And make sure you're sharing this episode with someone who maybe can benefit from it,
or is on their creator journey.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning into another episode of The I World.
Namaste.
In bed.